Welcome to the Medved Trader scanning tutorial. In Medved Trader, scanning is connected to the portfolio window. A scan is a formula or a set of formulas, including indicators, that can be run on data in real time for every symbol in the portfolio as the data comes in and shows the results in the portfolio rows for the symbols. In this demo, let's scan a portfolio with a formula that will detect when the data on the symbols chart goes outside the Bollinger Bands indicator. That's a pretty common criteria for traders. To create a new scan, go to the dashboard and open up the Scans and Pane Bars tile. The Scans and Pane Bars window lists all the different pane bars and scans available for you to use and allows you to add new ones or edit the existing ones. Note how each entry shows you whether it's a scan or has alerts or both. Let's click the New button to create a new scan from scratch. Let's do some housekeeping. Give the scan an ID. Just pick a random ID by clicking on the Random button. Give it a name. Give it a short name. And give it a description. Scans can be simple or advanced. We will look at the advanced ones later. For now, let's make a simple one. A simple scan consists of a set of rules. As the scan is executed for every symbol for every candle in the chart, the rules are looked at in sequence from first to last. Let's make a first rule. It's already here, just needs to be filled. The criteria would be if the close of the candle is above the upper bound of a Bollinger Band. You can pick the variables for the criteria from the list. Let's pick close. Leave the operator at greater than and pick Bollinger Bands as the second variable. Note that you can just start typing and then pick the indicator from the list. The indicator may have several values. In Bollinger case, it's top, bottom, or center. For this rule, we'll pick the top one. You can also specify the indicator parameters. If you pick any params, the system will just give it the default parameters for this particular indicator. If you want any specific parameters for the indicator, you click the Edit Params button and pick the parameters you want. Note that as you're editing the rule, the pseudocode for it is shown at the bottom of the rule. Now that we've filled out the criteria, let's set what action should be taken if the criteria is met. The available options are Set Color, Set Shape, Alert, and Set Scan Result. The shapes are useful for pane bars. The same code can be used for pane bars on the charts. We will discuss this in our pane bar tutorial. Let's say that when this condition happens, that is, when the candle is outside the Bollinger Band's upper line, we want to show a red word above on the portfolio during a scan. So we'll set the scan result to be above, and we'll set the color to be a nice negative red one. Now, we can name the color so that the user later, when they use the scan, can change the color to anything they like. Note that the pseudocode for the rule, when we save the rule, now shows in the list of rules. Let's make the second rule. click the Add a Rule button. Make it close, less than, Bollinger Bands, and in this case we'll take the bottom value. And make sure to set the parameters to be the same parameters that we set in the first rule. We'll make the scan result to be below. And we'll set the color to be below BB and make it a positive green color. And we'll save this rule. Now we're done creating the scan. Let's see how we can place it in a portfolio. First we'll save the scan and close the editor. You can see that the scan now shows in the list of scans available. Note that it has a little scan button icon next to it. That shows that it can be used as a scan. Let's close the scan editor. Let's look at the portfolio that we're going to be scanning. It has about 400 different stock symbols. In this portfolio, we'll go to the Scanner tab in the ribbon menu and select this newly created scan going outside Bollinger Bands as the scan that we would like to run. There are two columns that the scanner uses to show its results in the portfolio. These columns are Scan Result and Scan Date. Let's use the portfolio's column chooser to make sure that these columns will be showing in the portfolio. Scan Result and Scan Date. Now, the Auto Backfill checkbox in the Scanner tab, if checked, will backfill the needed data on each symbol in the portfolio before running the scan. That is needed because scans internally create a pseudo chart in order to calculate the scan. You also have to decide on what kind of chart you'd like to run the scan. We will set it to be intraday, 1 minute, and without any extended hours. Now we will make sure that the portfolio is actively receiving data from its data source. It needs incoming data in order to run the scans. You can look at the main tab and see that the data source is active. And so it is. Now we can start the scan. Go back to the Scanner tab and hit the Start button. The scanner will start auto backfilling for every symbol, and as you can see, it started running the scan already. It takes sometimes for a lot of symbols it may take a while to start the scan, but for 400 symbols it can start pretty quickly. The scan results for every symbol in real time are shown in the Scan Result column. If you would prefer that only rows with some scan result would show in the portfolio and the ones with no scan result are hidden, check the Filter button on the Scanner menu. If we click it, you will see that only the rows that actually have some scan result will show. Watch as the portfolio is scanning. The number of symbols that can be scanned at one time is usually limited by the data source. Some limit the total number of simultaneously subscribed symbols to only 100, while others allow a lot more. I think TD Ameritrade allows up to 500. You can pause the scan to stop the things popping in and out if you have the filter on. This pauses the scan even though the showing of the results of the scan, even though the data keeps coming in. You can then restart it. This concludes part 1 of our tutorial on Medved Trader scans. If you have any questions, please email us at support@medvedtrader.com. Tell your friends about Medved Trader, and good luck in your trading.